Yo, what is up everybody? Welcome back to Joe's Garage for another episode of Subaru Saturday. As you can see, the 2.5RS is up in the air, back on the lift, and we have a pretty special video for you today. I'm gonna be removing any of the parts that are on the car remaining so that we can start working on the underside, all the floor pans, and any of the rust that's underneath the car before we get too far into those strut towers that we were working on last week. But really quickly, I just wanted to say, my videos for the restoration project of this Impreza have almost been hitting 1,000 views, and that's a major milestone for me. So if you can, make sure to share this video, give it a thumbs up, and make sure to leave me some comments to help engagement and boost this video's performance. I'd really appreciate that because like I said guys, 1,000 views per video is gonna be incredible and I just can't wait to make it that far. So let me show you everything that we removed from the 2.5RS and then we're just gonna jump right into the video. So the first thing that we pull off in the video is the cross member in the front that goes underneath the transmission. I then move on to these long arms for the rear suspension, and one of them was even broken that I had to cut it off with the plasma cutter. I pulled down the handbrake cables because they were in our way, and that's just one more thing I'm gonna have to replace. We removed the rest of the brake lines here. We end up deciding what tool we're gonna be using to remove the rest of the undercoating underneath the vehicle, so that's pretty exciting. And the last thing, to cap it off, we cut the rocker panels off the 2.5RS. You can see this driver's side was completely shot. The passenger side wasn't as bad, but it was something we needed to get done so we can get an idea of how we're gonna move forward on this car, fixing the rust and doing everything we need to do. So without me talking too much, let's just jump right into today's video. All right, so if you guys have been watching this series long enough, you know that while I was removing all of the parts from underneath, I was using the torch the entire time because these bolts are very seized up with rust, and the torch does a great job. You guys know I love using it, so we're gonna be using the torch in today's video, and let's start removing some of these parts. Whew. Oh yeah, that's good. I feel like it's been so long since I've turned a wrench, it's crazy. I wonder what I was doing there. Yeah, that's butter smooth. Nice. That piece came right down. If the back comes as nicely as the front did, we're gonna be having a great day. Oh no, that's not good. Go, last one. Okay, cool, very good. All right, so this side you can see a little bit better. It's more exposed because those brake lines don't come through the frame here. We do have the handbrake cable and some fuel lines in the way, but I don't think that's preventing us from getting in here, getting a nice clean shot at these. So let's just go ahead and go for it. Oh. Ah, that blows. Come on. Well, the bolt didn't break, but the nut inside the frame did. So, all right, everybody, last week's question of the video went so well, and I was so thrilled to learn a little bit more about you guys. Hearing the one that got away or the car that you wish you had back was super cool, and I loved every bit of that. That's what's actually inspiring this week's question of the video. What would be your one dream car? If you could pick one car, whether it's very practical or a hypercar, let me know year, make, and model, and a little reason why that is. I'd love to hear about it and talk with you guys a little bit more, because that's what this is all about. My dream car, I'm gonna go ahead and start it off for you, would be this 2.5RS. Years ago, after owning the car, my cousin showed me this awesome YouTube video where they take the 2.5RS, they swap the STI, suspension and engine into it, and they call it the RSTI, and that is seriously what has inspired me with this build. All these years, I've just pictured having that car, and it's something that I want more than anything. So when I think of a dream car, yes, you have your 911s, your Lamborghinis, Ferraris, all of the above. This is that for me because it's practical and it's something I actually manifest for years now. So building this car is really gonna be a dream come true, and I can't wait for that moment with you guys when I actually take this car out on the road for the very first time, because we're really building dreams here. So make sure to do that for me. Leave me the comment in the section below, and while you're at it, hit thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. I'd really appreciate that, and it helps this video grow to a wider audience, which that's really what this is all about too. I'm trying to spread this fire like crazy, and let's break 1,000 views on an RS video. That would be incredible. We're almost there. The past two hit 700, so we're very close, guys. We're this close to 1K views on the 2.5RS videos, which is gonna be incredible to me. It's really what I've been pushing for, is to get a couple thousand views on each of these videos. So without me talking too much, make sure to comment, thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and let's just jump right back into the work on the 2.5RS. Let's just go ahead and try and get the other ones off and see what happens. Ooh, that one's nice and red hot. Hopefully this one doesn't bust on us like the last one did. This one feels good. I'm not happy. At this point, the side's already muffed up enough, so. I can't even believe it. Jesus. I should have used the gun on all of them. Unbelievable. Well, what are you gonna do, right? I guess I could just go get my plasma cutter and try and cut it out real quick. It's just no good way to get a cutoff wheel in there, and I don't have my Sawzall. Get a blade in there. It's my fault. I should have been more patient. Okay. I'm never so frustrated, but I'm pretty frustrated right now. I'll tell you what, guys, what just happened right there is extremely frustrating, and it's probably one of the only times I've had stuff break like that, other than when I was removing the cross member. Actually, the rear cross member from right here on the frame where I attached the, you know, rolling frame that I made. So, you know, I guess it happens. I'm not gonna let it be, I'm not gonna let it destroy me because, you know, I don't know. There's been so many things that haven't broken on the car as I work on it that, you know, let's say 2 of these bolts broke. It is what it is. I mean, we're gonna fix it. It's just, you know, now it's just one more thing that I have to fix down the road. And I guess when I fix it, it'll just at least be in better shape than it was now. You know, as I use all the OEM nuts that are welded to the frame, you know, there's always a chance they break. So me welding in a new nut there, it's not the end of the world. It's fixable. It just kind of blows. It kind of set me back like an hour, I guess, like a half hour at least, you know, tearing that arm down. The other one took me 20 minutes. This one took me like 45. So I'm a little behind schedule, but it's all right. Let's just go ahead and keep on removing some things under here, doing our best to get everything stripped down so that we can actually just start knocking down the undercoating and getting a real idea of how this undercarriage looks. Thanks for hanging in there with me, guys. It sucks that happened, but let's just keep on working. All right, before I go up in the car to remove some of these plugs and see how they come through, I want to see if I can get these last remaining bolts out so that if I am able to get them out through the inside, we can just bring them down all together at once. So I have 2 here that I need to get, and we're going to be using heat. Hopefully we have better results with this. I don't think we're going to have any issues. There's one back here I'll show you guys too. Just a couple more bolts I need to use the heat on, and then I'll pack up the torch so it's out of our way. But I want to try and get this done right now while we're here. So I'm going to go ahead and knock some of this rust down. Man, that's crazy. Grab my screwdriver and just try and chip at it a little bit, see what we get. Rust is something else, I swear. You know, it looks like a 10 millimeter. I thought it might have been a 12, but we're gonna go ahead and try that. Oh, we could try this. I just don't think this is gonna cut it. Oh, wow. It's telling me sorry for giving me such a hard time with that long arm. I really don't want to torch this rubber. Dude, these never come off when I need them to. You know what, guys? If this comes off, you definitely know the car was trying to make up for giving me such a hard time. Wow. All that rust went directly into my mouth. That should be plenty hot. Might as well try and do it while I'm down here with the torch. See what this electrical here is. Oh, it's the ABS wire. Yeah, I want to pull this through. Then we got to get these parking brake cables out. Very good. And the fuel lines, I want to get those up and out of here. This rubber seal here and this ABS wire. So let's go ahead and get up in the car and do that. Let's cut these brake lines real quick and then we'll go up. Just be able to break them right here. Oh, this clip are just busting so. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, I would not have been able to drive this car. Okay, yeah, we'll leave that like that. These come off here, that's fine. Try and save those so we can kind of get an idea later. If this can just come up and through, that'll be fine. Oh, well, I don't know if you guys just saw that, but I just broke these off. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's what we got. Oh, wow. This is this clip I've been dragging around. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see all that, but this has been in our way as we've been working on the car. kind of just set this aside for now. I will pull this through later. Oh, yeah, it's a long one. That's to the evap canister also. You know what? This line needs to go because it's already cut down there, so I don't even care. I can cut this one. All right, we got that just dangling. Really opened up some space over here. Wow, I'm just a little bummed out how weak this is right here. We'll get there, guys. You know what? We're gonna have to just knock this down and see how bad it really is. So I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna get up in the car, get some of this stuff pulled through, see what it looks like, get it out of our way, and then we can pretty much just start knocking down this undercoating, which is what I want to do. That's just what we're gonna do, is just start going for it. I will bring these brake lines down real quick. I'll get to grab a tool for it. I'm gonna end up replacing that anyway. There's one line, nice and easy. That one came out. Yep. And time. Everything's breaking. There goes that line. I'll be making all of these brake lines, everybody. I don't remember how this one's even hooked up back here. Yeah, okay, that's it. They're done. You know what, the very last thing I want to do before we go up is get this suspension piece off. Give me this. Here we go, guys. At least I didn't have to cut this bracket up. This has to come up. Just go ahead and push that up, push that up. That's good. Yep, there we go. That's good. Then we can just go lift it up inside the cab. But I'll take the camera for a little walk. All right, so here we go. This was for the ABS line. Oh, nice. It's a little clip right here, so I can just replace it. Okay, here's for the fuel lines, which I don't want to bend too much. I probably could get them up if I picked up this big bracket here. Maybe they won't be in my way. Oh, okay, good. And I don't think I did hurt any of that metal, that's a good thing. Let's just go ahead and fish this through. It's that big, long pigtail of wires. Better be safer in the car anyway. Come on. Come on. Oh my goodness. There we go. Okay. We got this ABS wire, and now we just have these brake lines. Can I fit them through? There's one. And there's two, and those are broken, so it's not great anyway. Okay, so I also remembered I did want to remove the parking brake while I was up here. We've got a few 12 millimeters that need to go, and then the cable comes out from this little plate in there. So I'll go ahead and get this detached and we'll get these out. I'm gonna go grab a screwdriver and a hat so I can wear this light. All right, I have to hold my camera because my tripod broke not too long ago. So I'm using a bigger tripod that Brent let me have from WD. Shout out to the boys at WD. They're such great guys. But I'm using this bigger tripod that's not as mobile, so I'm not always able to get it in the places I need to because I'm obviously still learning how to work with that. But we'll do our best here as I hold this to show you guys what I'm doing. This is pretty basic. This plate comes off. Okay, you gotta just move the cable where the slot is. There we go. Very nice. This can stay. This looks hilarious. The way they're just wiggling. This is just gonna go right through after I give them a little pry. You gotta be so difficult. Ooh, that metal's a little rusty. It seems like anywhere there was rubber or a seal. That's where the rust is bad, because it was holding moisture, which really drives me crazy. And it would just continuously stay moist and hold water in between. And you can see this is pretty rough. There's like pieces of metal breaking. It just blows. I could always cut the hole and, you know, fix this or just clean it up and seal it, but I really just want it to be as clean as possible. The same thing goes for that fuel or those brake lines over here. It's where it's rotten, where it meets the rubber seal, because what happens is that moisture is held there. I've already repeated myself. You guys get it. I'm just frustrated about it. The only reason it's bothering me today because it's been such a rough go at it. Well, the underside's stripped clean. Let's go take a look at it. Oh yeah, and like here's that tripod I was just talking about. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's a 3-leg tripod. It's like made for filming. Very nice tripod, and I've been using it for the past couple videos. It's just sometimes the little tripod I used to use was easy to get into some places, but I really like the way this one works. So I do appreciate that, Brent. If you're watching the video, RJ, Mike, you guys are the best. But let's go ahead and look at this underside real quick. Okay, so here's those fuel lines. I think we'll be able to work around it. You guys see, it's pretty stripped clean now. We had all these lines in here, a lot of nonsense over here too that we had to get down. We could really just start knocking down some of this undercoating to see what we're gonna need to cut and where the rust really is showing, what we're gonna need to seal with the seam sealer, and just keep moving forward. This process is gonna be a little daunting because it's legitimately just my machine with the wire wheel and crushing this undercoating. Anywhere it's rusty, I'm gonna sandblast this like I did the engine bay. Let's just go for it, man. I'm gonna set up the wire wheel and we're just gonna start hitting some of this with the wire wheel. I'm gonna try and hit the most satisfying places on video.
swear guys, that's been almost an hour and 45 minutes straight of me just doing that. And you can see how long it's gonna actually take me. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna get all that on camera, but check me out, man. It looks like I'm just dripping. All right, I'm out. We gotta come back tomorrow and finish this up.
All right, everybody, so after sleeping on it, I'm not sure that using the wire wheel is the way that I'm gonna be removing the rest of this undercoating. It really worked for the wheel wells because I wasn't necessarily holding the machine up in the air while running it. I was more or less sitting and just doing lightweight groundwork. But underneath the car, it's extremely heavy and it's not as easy as I thought it was gonna be. So we're gonna attempt a few different ways to remove that undercoating. And now I don't have a handheld torch, which is something I'm gonna be bringing to the shop next time. So maybe next week, if I don't get it all completed this week, we'll probably get the torch and just scrape it off like I was previously, because I do know that works. It just doesn't leave great results either. And you know, I just wasn't sure how we were gonna do this underside quite yet. So now we're gonna go ahead and attempt the heat gun, which I've done in the past, but let's see if I can just get this to cook up a little bit and see what we can do. If this doesn't work, we're gonna move to a torch here eventually. And then if the torch doesn't work, I'm just gonna have to do some thinking. Yeah, so that's taking a little bit of time. It's doing an okay job, I'd say. Let's go ahead. Now I will hit this with the wire brush and see what we get. You know, might as well go for it. It's not a difficult position. Let's set the camera up and try and knock this down. I am gonna use a different grinder and try this instead. Honestly, I can't even believe how much nicer this tool works. It's so much lighter weight. It's got the switch so I don't have to pull the trigger and lock it. And overall, this brush head is just hitting it in a way that, you know, it's really tearing it up. So I think I might even attempt to swap these heads and use the straight wheel to get into the spots that I want. But this is probably gonna be the tool I use the rest of the way because, I mean, it's even knocking down the rust like nothing. It's all a learning process. I'm still trying to figure out what tools for what. Even though I've used these tools for 100 different things, finding out that, you know, this one is just so much easier to use on the undercoating. I'm gonna hit a couple spots just to even show you guys. I'm gonna have to move the camera. Yeah, that's crazy because that was about like 5 minutes and I hit such a fat piece right here. All right, no kidding. Now we know that is the tool we're gonna be using going forward. I might put a different wire wheel on it. And it really is beating up my arms to hold it that way, but it's just so much easier than the big one. Obviously heating up the undercoating, it's an okay process. It's not as hard for me. You know, it's lightweight, the heat gun, and then just scrape it off. But it's not as clean either. I don't think personally. It leaves some of the undercoating on the metal, so I still would have to brush it somehow. But that thing right there, that angle grinder with the wire wheel, literally is like a breeze compared to everything else so far. So I think that's actually what we're gonna use the rest of the way through here. Overall, I'm feeling really confident about the undercoating. So I think what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and do the rest of that in probably next week's video. And actually what I'm gonna ask you guys is right now, let me know if you even wanna see me remove all the undercoating. If that's something you want me to put in an entire time lapse, or you just want me to show you glimpses of like highlights of areas where I thought it was interesting or satisfying to watch compared to that entire process. Cause it's gonna take me a few hours. So I don't know, you guys let me know if you wanna see the entire thing or just skip past that and you know, show you the highlights, and then when it's finished, obviously show you guys that also. But what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna go ahead, line up the rocker where I'm gonna cut it, and we're gonna cut that off. That's gonna be the end of this week's video. Just really wanna get under that rocker, see how bad that rust is, so I can think about it all weekend, what we're gonna be doing and what we're gonna move forward doing next week. So let's just go ahead and make that tape line like I do so I can follow that, cut it across, take it off, see how bad it really is, and go from there, and then we'll close this video out. We're gonna do both sides, driver and passenger side, and then close out the video. So let's just go ahead and get right to it. You know what? I don't think the passenger side is nearly as bad. Alright guys, so we have both rockers cut off, and this side was a little more difficult because it was cleaner in some aspects of that, whatever you consider cleaner. But check this out, if all the metal was this clean, guys, this project would have been finished already, I swear. The car was sitting on these pinch welds for a while we were doing work, so you know it is pretty solid down here. Everything is pretty strong, it's just rusty. So like everywhere else on the car, we need to remove all the rust. You can see that there's even all these, there's so much nesting inside of these rockers. I'm surprised it's not worse than it is. So yeah, I'm gonna have to like suck all this out with a vacuum or something, because that's disgusting. But this rust back here is really bad. It's somewhere that we're gonna be doing a lot of work, is right here, because part of that differential carrier, it's like, actually it's right here. It's that right there. Part of this mounts right here on the inside of the rocker. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to rebuild this very accurately. I'll just give you guys a quick shot. You can see how gone it is. I'm surprised those bolts even came out. But we're gonna have to rebuild this, which is something I have yet to think about or realize how we're gonna build it. And then up here, obviously, you know, this is all needing to be rebuilt because this is where it was super rotten on the driver's side also. And this side's not as bad. Everything's fixable. After fixing the radiator core support, which honestly was the absolute worst part of the car with rust, was this core support. And I mean, I jacked it up off this core support the other day just to see, and it held no problem. But here is the driver's side, and I don't have my lights over here, but you can see this was actually more solid on the driver's side, which was interesting because this was worse on the driver's side. And then as we moved down here, had some more rust in the middle where this was all clean on the passenger side. And yeah, on this side, it's the same story where that differential carrier holds to the body is completely shot. So I'm hoping I can just get this off another Impreza, or if I have to make these plates, you know, it's gonna be pretty interesting, but I'm curious to do that kind of thing. That's the route we're going. But now that I have these rockers off, I can, you know, assess the damage under there and really start to think about how we're gonna start moving forward on this. Overall, we've got a great idea how we're gonna move forward with the undercoating, and now we have the ability to think about the rocker panels. So guys, that's it for this week's video. I feel like I got a little more done than usual, even though it's not like a lot of results. You don't have many results. I removed the rest of the pieces underneath the car, which really basically makes it just a chassis. There's literally nothing else underneath it. And then we started to remove some of the undercoating, which I'd say we're about maybe 2/8, a quarter of the way there, maybe, I don't know. we're gonna go with a quarter of it. I still have a lot to go, but now that we know what we're doing with it, I think we're gonna have no issues getting the rest of that done. And we also cut down these rockers, which is gonna give me the ability to, you know, just keep an eye on them and start to think about what I'm gonna do. I did find an awesome website that sells all these parts, so I think I might go ahead and buy new rockers, the wheel arches, and all of that where the rust was extremely bad. And that just leaves us a few places where I might have to custom make the panels, which it's really not that big of a deal. I'll take my time and I'll do it properly. Unlike the radiator core support where I just was cutting pieces up and test fitting, I might actually go for, you know, using the stretcher and the English wheel to try and really make the pieces the proper way. But that's it. I'm super excited that it's up in the air. It's a game changer again because, you know, imagine doing all this work on the ground. It would have been difficult. It is hard up in the air also, but nowhere near as hard as it would be on the ground. So yeah, having it back on the lift is incredible. We are gonna be just continuing Subaru Saturday until I can completely knock this car out at this point. I don't have much more content that is gonna interrupt Subaru Saturday. So, you know, that going forward, you already know that each week I'm gonna be dropping another episode, so you have something to look forward to. If I do have other content, I'll make sure to drop it during the week rather than on my Saturday drops, because you guys know Subaru Saturday is the thing now, and I actually really love it. So thank you so much. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to let me know with any comments. If you have any suggestions about any of the work that I've done, I'd love to hear it. Your guys' advice has helped me so much so far. So I really appreciate that, guys. And you know, like I said earlier in the video, if you haven't already and you watched to this point, you've gotta give me a thumbs up because you watched the entire video, so I know you did like it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. That really helps me grow. We're at 3,900 subs as we speak. That's incredible. We may be able to hit 5,000 in the next few months and then 10,000 in the next year, which if I hit 10,000, guys, come on, that's practically viral in the sense of a small YouTube channel. So I'm super pumped about it. Things are looking bright. Everything's going well. We're just gonna keep going, moving forward as best as we possibly can, and we'll do it together. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next Subaru Saturday or whatever I post midweek. You never know. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.